That's why we need to really embrace itong tinatawag na new normal na to. Virtual or remote teams can be completely equal to co-located ones in terms of trust and collaboration. We just have to put that system and discipline of working together. Okay? It is now the competency of the people who work together and the leadership skill of our TLs and our managers that may be put to test.
100 webinars. We just can't stop.
Works, love, made visible. Organizations across 9 countries and 4 continents. The blended learning,
Team engagement,
and our podcast to be called Hello World. Talk about habits of excellence, hustling in this VUCA world, entrepreneurship, lessons in running and managing a business, leading people, creating that vision, communicating effectively, have that right attitude, right mindset, the right outlook, no matter what happens around us in life. Great work. Louis Banta at your service. Most likely you've attended the team building that I conducted last year. The big team building sessions that we will miss for this year, as in-person events are not allowed because we want to protect health and safety and we want to prevent a second surge. So numbers here that represent my professional experience. We have been going around to train different leaders across the globe, and some of the photos that we had in our last year's team building. Sa mga kasama natin dito sa ating mga wonderful team building sessions. So proceeding to our clients, and you know as already most of you, the first 3 skills that we provided in webinar format are the following. Ang kwento po nito, March during the lockdown, good that you're 100% working from home. Kami din 100% working from home because wala kaming gagawin at the start of the lockdown. All of our training sessions, team building in out of town, out of the country, all indefinitely postponed. So, what am I going to do? I have to think of ways to reach out to my target audience. At dahil zero sales kami that time, nakaisip tayo ng paraan, webinars and platforms like this. And we are offering free webinars to companies like you. So thank you once again, Doreen and Van, for saying yes to this opportunity. So these are the first 3 courses that we provided: leading teams, leading remote teams, leading and facilitating teleconferences. Nanganak na po ng iba't ibang mga courses that we have provided to different organizations. May aso sa tabi, correct? There are children running around and you are catching up after them. Yes, there's TV at the background. It also depends on how big is the place that you live in. That's why we need to really embrace itong tinatawag na new normal na to. Because of COVID-19, nobody's exempted. It's nobody's fault. A lot of managers and associates, we have been thrust into this position unwillingly. What? Ano raw? What the different reactions of people, right? When we said we are on a lockdown, but we have to take it seriously. I'm sure that kagulo ng first few days, because how are we going to bring equipment if you have your personal equipment good? Some have also been given hardware. The next consideration is internet connection, Wi-Fi, naka-data plan lang yung iba. Lots of factors that contributed to the crazy adjustment. And some of us are still adjusting to this setup of work from home. Let's acknowledge some benefits and challenges of work from home. It's important that we also survive in this work from home setup by looking at the trade-offs. Ganun talaga, something has to give. There are pluses, there are minuses. Don't focus so much on the challenges, focus as well on the benefits that we enjoy here, right? I agree with you. Less time, less commute. I save 3 hours to 4 hours of travel every day. I live down south. Money savings, energy, the effort, and of course, pag-ikot mo after your shift, supposed shift, your family is there. Or for the leaders, actually no shift, right? You really have to blend the work and the family activities. Can you give me a few challenges in this setup? What's your top challenge? If you have a top challenge, please chat with me. Top challenge. Top challenge. What is it? Internet. Internet system latency. Kung malakas naman ang internet mo, it is the system. Madaming gumagamit ng system. Okay? Anything else? Tools, okay. Distractions, network issues. I will start with, I will not focus on internet anymore as a challenge because that's something that we can't do anything about. It's a tech infrastructure of the Philippines. No? And this now is a great lesson for our government and our telco companies to really work together. So let's take that out of the equation. Let's just focus on, let's work with what we have. If we have these internet and latency issues, it is now the competency of the people who work together and the leadership skill of our TLs and our managers that may be put to test. Tama yung sinasabi nila, Lane, hard to assist team members remotely. Don't worry, we cannot save the world. We cannot do everything. We cannot please everyone. We will just focus on what we can do, what we can control. Yes? Next is time management. Of course, part of our work would be ang daming ginagawa for the leaders, ang daming reports I heard. Syempre, crisis situation, our management teams would want to know more of what's happening at the ground. We don't see our people, so reports become that tool for communication. So for our associates or even our team leads, you understand that the reports that you're doing are really critical to decision-making upward. I will jump to dealing with distractions. So first things first, right mindset. As I said earlier, we can't save the world. We cannot please everyone. As much as we can, we want to be beside our teammates to provide immediate guidance. The mindset is we will work with what we have, appreciating more the benefits and working around if not addressing these challenges. O mga issues at questions, no? Questions of both leaders and team members, but mostly leaders, ito mga katanungan ng mga tao. Leaders are asking, will my teammates be productive? And even associates are thinking, yung mga masisipag na associates, no? Of course, if it's in the office or on-site, we look at each other, sinasabayan mo yung masipag, di ba? Kaka-pressure, di ba? But now, we don't see each other. Will people be as productive as they could be? How will we know we can't monitor them? Okay? That's issue number one. Issue number two, will they promptly reply to emails? Baka hindi, baka nagne-Netflix, nag-games. Won't they get distracted by, as you mentioned, with a lot of things that we've posted earlier? And last, how would we replace the physical interaction and social interaction? Ngayon, inspired tayo by this article in Harvard Business Review that said, virtual or remote teams can be completely equal to co-located ones in terms of trust and collaboration. We just have to put that system and discipline of working together. Okay? Ang everyday question natin, tulungan na lang po tayo, whether these are team leaders or managers or associates, especially we have people in the support team, tulungan na lang. What can we do to make sure that this new setup is working for each one of us? Okay? It is really a time of crisis. While we still have our BAUs, reports that have to be delivered, no? Our work routines, compassion, understanding, empathy, and support are needed during this crisis. So with that, let's start. Some tips are applicable to both leaders and associates. Some tips are applicable only to leaders, and some tips are applicable mostly to associates. Okay? Let's go to tip number one. Okay, I take a sip of my Starbucks drink here. Yan, to energize me more. Tip number one, I would like to really acknowledge this because without this, it can really be work from home, very frustrating. But as I said earlier, we will make do with what we have. Let's have a checklist of the following gadgets I know that before, sanay ka sa dalawang malaking monitor. Ngayon, nag-a-adjust yung iba, naka-laptop tapos isang malaking monitor. Adjustment lang. Remember, let's work with what we have. Let's not focus on what we do not have as of the moment. People are essentially adaptable, no? Okay, move on muna tayo, embrace what we have, pasalamat at meron pa tayong support na ganyan. Sometimes it starts with the mindset. Okay? Strong and stable internet connection, well, depending on what we have again, pwede namang supportahan. I know of other companies who are able to, give dongles or additional support for internet. For some people, konting upgrading lang ng ating mga subscriptions at plans yan. Number 3 is to choose that spot in at home where you can really do best work from home and take calls, especially if you're talking to counterparts in other countries. I'll show you my work from home space in a while. And I know that you have your collaboration tools and software. Pinapakita ko lang po yung mga collaboration tools na natutunan ko during this time of the pandemic, because we have different clients. You prefer Zoom, and my other clients would prefer any of these. And it's good because I'm able to learn a lot of things during this pandemic. So if you have all 4, perfect. You should go, be ready. Although number 2 is really a concern here in the Philippines, we would wish that this be improved sooner, again, because of our experience in this pandemic. Of course, gusto rin ng mga telco companies yan kasi that's revenue for them. Let's now go to my picture of my work from home office space. And as you can see, my background here, this is the corner where I have that photo. But for my webinars, I just turn around so I can take advantage of natural light coming from my big glass window here. As you can see, naka-set up na yan. I have a big screen there. I also have my iPad where I can do my instant messaging and my works on the files. I have everything that I need. Yun ang importante, talagang office table. Put everything that you need para hindi na po tayo ng tayo. If you want to prevent interruptions and disruptions, bring everything that you need. You know why? Tumayo ka, you'll get water. Sa pababa ka, nakita mo Netflix, distraction, right? Or if sometimes yung pag-inom din ng tubig, I also manage that because I don't drink lots of water, because that means that you will have to go and it interrupts you in the middle of a call that you feel like going. Have everything that you need, even a lamp there, especially if your work extends beyond the brighter portions of the day. Have everything that you need. Ang lapit ko sa aking internet connection there, so imposible talaga maputol ako, and I need that because I'm broadcasting webinars like this. No? Lagi mag-speed test. Because if you know the speeds, of course, you know the minimum required to download and upload, it's good because you're able to manage it. Hindi yung hindi mo alam bakit mahina ang internet. And people will understand. Just mention TL, manager, this is my speed. Don't be shy. People are willing to support. Let's proceed to the next one. Set up the routine and the rhythm. Nobody's really prepared for this work from home. Of course, initially we like it because, no commute, less savings, I'll be with my family. Pero ngayon, ang hirap ng paghiwalayin yung work at saka yung family. Kaya, set up the routine, set up the rhythm. If you're a leader, amplify team rituals to set the shared habit. Kailangan ang ma-feel lang ng tao, the only thing that change is the work location, but everything else is the same. Schedule as much as possible. Impose that, have a sense of that fixed schedule. It's okay during this crisis for people to go the extra mile. Malasakit yan sa team, malasakit yan sa kumpanya, lalo na sa leaders, increase requirements. We were doing firefighting during the early weeks, no? So we were really trying to stabilize things. Kaya lagi ako, kahit na naka-shorts ako, ayan, inamin ko, no? Lagi ding nandito yung routine ko. Kasi iba yung pag nakabikis ka talaga eh. You're ready to face and communicate as professional to people that you will encounter. And part of the routine, the rhythm that you need to set up is a schedule. Okay? I made sure if you want better time management, simple lang. I have a routine. Okay? I have a routine for the morning. Okay? At 7 o'clock, I wake up. Some of you would say it's late because I normally work late at night, sometimes past midnight because especially during this webinar time, ang dami kong dinidevelop na content. And sometimes I don't eat breakfast. Well, a lot of times I don't eat breakfast because of my intermittent fasting, but it's important for me to just be there, especially spending time with my daughter. At 8 o'clock, ideally, nagpe-prepare na po ako. Sabi ng isa kanina, less time from bed, you can jump in, but still you need to remember, bring everything so that you can stay for 1-2 hours without standing up, no? And maybe just take a break at around 10 o'clock. This is my normalcy schedule for my team. 8:30, naka-online na ako. Meron nang nagsisend sa aming Viber chat group ng quote for the day. All of a sudden, I ask my HR team, pampagood vibes. Na hindi ako, I ask somebody from my HR team, you can also designate somebody in your team, TL and manager, pampagood vibes, iba't ibang quotations on positivity, positive mindset. Okay, we will all succeed here, just focus. Para the teams are also involved, nagsasagutan pag may nagsimula na ng good morning doon, no? Okay? Because people are glued to their gadgets nowadays. It's our means of communication to everyone. Our Bible groups have not been so busy as compared to the past 6 weeks. 9 o'clock, magbe-big team huddle kami. 9:20, may functional team meeting. 10:30, magmamancom kami. The others are already performing their tasks. I usually have a longer lunch break. I'll explain that later. And then everybody will proceed to routine work, assign BAU or projects at 6 p.m. I would ask DITAR submission or daily task accomplishment submission because I don't want to micromanage. We should not micromanage as well. The teammates should have a clear weekly task and daily task, and then we will check on their accomplishment. Minsan meron ako mga end of day meetings or mga learning sessions with my team, but I make sure that as much as possible, I join my family during lunch and dinner time. Okay? As much as possible. When I say as much as possible, it may not happen all the time. Some meetings may really extend, no? As long as it's not happening all the time, because you will keep people waiting. You will also need to be sensitive, especially sa mga managers at leaders, no? When you hear the voices of the parents, no, kakain na, oh, ano ba, bubuhatin pa ba kita dyan, no? Maghain ka na. Sensitivity of the leaders and managers to also respond to that one. Right? So scheduling lang talaga. Set up a routine and rhythm. Right? Yan sinasabi kong good morning or good vibes ritual. Two of my teammates, Carla and Charles, would be our morning, good morning greeters because meron nga kaming pahadel. Yan. Okay? So good vibes na lahat. I love to take screenshots of my teammates. Mahilig ako mag-screenshot halos every day. Tapos pinapadala ko sa tao, sa team, sa Viber namin. Ano? Because that's the only way by which we can connect with people whom we miss badly. Number 2, part of that routine would be your team weekly and monthly activities. Because time management is a concern, the best thing to do is really be able to, okay, magsulat tayo ng schedule and try to stick to this as much as possible. If you don't have this, then the day-to-day urgent and important tasks will really overwhelm you. Basta naka-schedule in advance, nakadetalye katulad ng schedule ko in the previous one, it's really detailed and people can now perform this even with their eyes closed. They know that an activity is happening at a certain point. May time din kami mag-engagement activity kahit na sobrang busy. Meron din kami mga weekender huddle. Meron din kami mga month-end huddle, especially during the early days of this crisis, that people are feeling uncertain. People are also feeling tired. Yung unang engagement namin, naglaro kami ng mafia. Okay, yung learning just made better, naging deceit just made better, facilitated by one of our trainers. I celebrated my birthday last week, May 12, at from 7 p.m. to 8:30, we all gathered in Zoom and we celebrated my birthday. We even had our team outing. We are in Zoom, our favorite beach scenic spots as background, and we brought the food with us. We also have a lunch together at a certain point. Hindi dapat masacrifice ang employee engagement. Kahit na sobrang busy, isisingit at isisingit dapat natin yan. And leaders, it should not be your monopoly. I know that you have lots of things to do. Our team members, I'm sure, would want to be able to organize this because it's also for their own sake and for their team's sake. Yung iba narinig ko in other companies, ang pag-game nila ay ang pag-game nila, bring me. Yan. No, pampaalis ng stress minsan, okay? Mamaya meron akong virtual tour that I would like to discuss with you. Now, it's really difficult to deal with this work-life blend because if there are no expectations set, it can be abused or you can abuse yourself as well. So unang-una, if we're worried about productivity, I communicated to my team, it's work from home, not stay at home. But the keyword is home. So it's important to set expectations, ground rules, and behaviors. 3 things are important: work ethic, discipline, at integrity. So we articulated that in terms of, I told my team, please respond to messages within a certain lead time, or else we will call you if it's important. Be productive. We don't need to micromanage people there because there are deadlines anyway. So we depend on their discipline to really say no to tempting activities that are just around. Number 3, deliver commitments. Pag kinumit mo, i-deliver mo, o kaya i-manage mo ang expectations ng boss mo. And part of the expectations is to also, we ask people, okay lang ba if we extend? Or do you have something, family time considering, or errands or chores? No? Meron tayo mga teammates minsan. Sa operations kasi, very predictable, no? But for other teams, more flexible kasi yung schedule. Okay, so you have to also set expectations. And teammates, huwag kayong mahiya. Just communicating and asking help from your managers more often than not, mapagbibigyan. But sometimes, no, there could be some negotiations or agreements on this one. No, I'm sure that people will support each other to the best of their ability. Okay, let's go to number 4, ensuring productivity. Okay, if there is downtime, sometimes there is downtime. There are teams that have downtime. There are teams that have free time. And because we're not commuting anymore, we would have saved 1 hour or possibly 2 hours in traffic. Sa mga teams na applicable to, number 1, set outcome-based KPIs. For others, your KPIs have not been changed. So it's okay. We'll move to the next slide. For those teams who may just have some downtime or free time, I'm sure that in most of you, mas dumami ang trabaho. Kung meron lang talaga dito na you can see some of your teammates may spare some time for other things, you may assign them with special projects that you can see here on this list. Okay? And learning and development goals, should there be downtime or free time, should always be part, no? Sharpening the saw, ang daming pwedeng aralin, process mastery, or self-study on other topics. No? So I'll quickly leave this one because I'm sure in your case, mas dumami ang work. For other people, it remained the same for associates, but for leaders, again, because of the reports and the meetings and the collaboration. Now, let's talk about preventing distractions and interruptions. What can we possibly do? We said earlier that discipline is important. The ability to say no is important. The ability to say, sakana, I will tell your family members, no, you will have scheduled times of the day when you will be with them and scheduled times of the day when you have to focus at work. So for leaders, here's what we can do to coach our people. For our associates, here are direct tips that I've also personally done. Number 1, kung yung spot na yun, alam mong nagugulo ka, ginugulo ka nila, mas maraming chances na ikaw ay madidistract doon. Iwanan mo yung spot na yan and relocate in a place where it can be more conducive or nearer the internet connection. Number 2, inform family members in advance. Okay? Inform your parents. Just manage their expectations. If you're expecting certain calls that are critical calls, video calls, okay lang kung telephone call, pero kung video call, of course, the presentability is important. And if you're also expecting to be really focused on a certain task, inform family members in advance. Okay? When is the best time to do that? You can do that at night. You can tell your spouse. You can tell your kids. Or in the morning, this is my schedule for today, so they will understand. Even last night, I had a webinar from, what time was that? 8:30 to 9:30. And sleeping time na yun ng aking daughter. So I have to manage the expectations, no? I will still have one call until 9:30. Can you hold, please? Can you be in the other room for the meantime? I put up a DND sign to signify that I'm in a call or in a webinar. Now, if you don't have your own room or a room where you can really close the door and put a DND sign, just putting a sign on at the back of your desktop, no, or the back of your laptop, or something that designates that I should not be disturbed. So when the kids see it, they know that that's a signal. You can be creative with it, no? So halimbawa, if they see a certain color of a glass or a mug there on your table, you cannot be disturbed. And number 4, Filipino households are typically bigger than those in other countries unless you live alone in a condo unit. So kung marami namang kasamang family members, no, arrange for them to take care of other chores. And this is where you really need to have good relations. You have to maintain good relationships with your family members and household, even household help that's possible. No, yung iba walang yaya, walang household help. Bawal mang away ngayon ng tao sa bahay kasi cooperation dapat lahat. Okay? Sometimes I would need to go out for deliveries. No, it can't go straight to the house. I need to go out to the gate of our subdivision. And sometimes I have to ask for help. Our household help would go there and fetch it. No? Tulungan lang talaga ang focus dito. Pag hindi umubra to, hindi umubra, sabi mo sa parents mo, Ma'am, pwede mo ikaw muna bahalang magluto. No? Ikaw muna, may sakit si Mommy. That happened to one of my teammates. No? What's possible is, for the associates in the room, communicate with your manager. It's possible to consider best schedules, time slots. That's slots, no? Time slots for calls. Sample, no, household chores. Eh, di ba? Huhugas tayo ng pinggan, di ba? Nagluluto pa yung iba. Caring for the sick, elderly people, parents. Babies sleep, or you have to put them to sleep after lunch, no? Merong katabing construction work, you can predict the work, kailan nagbe-break yan, or where internet connection in your house may be stronger. Whenever possible, I know that it may not be possible most of the time, whenever possible, we will make certain adjustments. Okay? Ang mahirap lang talaga to, in contact centers of inbound, could you imagine inbound where you really have to talk to the customer? But wherever you go, customers will understand that they might hear a barking dog or a crowing rooster at the background because the workforce is really work from home. Pag worst case scenario talagang crying baby talaga, no? Okay? Keep mics on mute lang. That habit lang talaga of our muting. Or stay as far away from the source of the noise. If your barangay announcement, the van, the caravan is announcing something, and it stopped in front of your house, just try to move away. Diskarte lang, be creative. For interruptions, just let the group presider, no, sir, ma'am, I have to go to the door. There's a door, the doorbell's ringing. That has happened to me several times. Tulong-tulong sa pag-manage ng mga distractions and interruptions. And other things that we need to coach people on, even our peers, operating and navigating technology tools that are new to us. Especially, katulad kanina, no, nagtatanong tayo, paano ba to? How do we set this up? Okay? Where are the buttons to press? And performing new habits, such as muting and unmuting. I'd also encourage you to, once you log into a call or a video call, okay, because sometimes there's a sound and people are still deciphering who logged in. So an etiquette would be, of course, when the meeting is not started yet, or if you think you feel that they have not yet in the serious business, just greeting and making your presence felt. Hi, this is Louis. Good morning. Or you may chat with people. You don't have to speak to interrupt the meeting. Just chat. Hi, this is Louis. I just joined. Good morning. If you are hopping into a video call, simply showing self on video, okay, so that your smile can really set the day for others. And then just FYI, sorry, I have to take out my or remove my video because you might be doing other things. Coaching people, tulungan na lang on how to succeed in work from home. I'll go to number 6. It was important for my team, especially in this past 8-9 weeks, to really over communicate and centralize communications. Okay? And I found it critical or crucial that we have our daily huddle focus on the following sample agenda. I'm showing a sample agenda. You may or may not use this, but I'd like to, for my teammates to get a standard information centralized para hindi sila nagchichismisan, di ba? Kasi yung chismis, yung miscommunication, that can even waste time in the process. Okay? So global updates, local updates. Okay? And just be patient if people log out and log back in because of internet connection issues. If we would need to, let's say, reschedule meetings, no? Kaya nga papasok yung facilitation skills kapag may mga ganitong mga virtual meetings. No? Do we wait or do we proceed? That's a decision to be made. No? Is it essential for us to wait for these people or can we start the meeting with a small set of people already? Kaya nga ang critical ngayon is to have smaller meetings. Maybe many meetings of smaller meetings. Not a big meeting where some people don't even participate in these big meetings. No? People will appreciate 15-minute meetings pero talagang rich because every attendee is involved. I'd like to just share with you dun sa engaging question na nakalagay dyan. One of the engaging questions that I have my team talk about is, what is one exciting thing that you will do each day? So in our daily huddle, we take turns, 17 people in my team. I'm excited to do the documentation of our processes. I'm excited to do this. So it's just, inspiring to hear people share tasks that they find exciting that they will do every day. If this is applicable to you, go ahead. Of course, we changed the questions. So we went to what are the 2 things that you expect or looking forward to do after this lockdown? No? Parang naging icebreaker siya. No? Whether you want to start or end a meeting with these important questions. Kailangan din ma-master natin yung tamang usage ng tool kasi nakaka-aksaya ng oras to. Okay? You send a long email and people will have to read it. You spend a lot of time encoding that when you could just have picked up the phone and mention your concern. Okay? Or minsan naman, tawag ng tawag, pero pwede namang i-send through Viber or text or email. So using the right combination of tools, communication tools, can also save us time and can lessen the pressure that we have on people. Yung iba pa, introverts, they don't want to go to video calls. Others just prefer audio calls. So as a leader, tinatanong ko rin, regular call na lang tayo or video call pa tayo because it might even eat bandwidth, no, and then internet and data subscription plans. Okay? Let's go to number 7. Please discuss workload and support needed. If you're a leader, make sure that you check on your people on the workload and support needed. If you're a teammate, make sure that you communicate. In one webinar that I conducted this week, sabi ng isang nagtanong, how do I communicate to my insensitive manager? Wait, don't label your manager insensitive. Sabi ko, have you communicated that you're overwhelmed already? No, nahihiya ako. Now, empowering our associates in the room, and everybody here has an immediate superior, please do. Discuss. Reach out. Kung leader ka, plan, prioritize, and schedule. Check in with your team member. 5x means 5 times a week, every day. May mga tao, twice a week ko lang chine-check, once and after. Look at that script. Just make sure, kahit peer-to-peer, kamustahin niyo yung bawat isa. Everything okay? overwhelmed ba any support that I could give, no? So if your peer, is overwhelmed and swamped and cannot raise it to one's immediate superior, you might be the conduit to your team member or between these two people. If you're a leader, make sure you initiate these discussions. But if you're a teammate as well, may intindihan, no? TL, no? Boss, manager, no? I just feel so overwhelmed. No, I'm not in a good. I don't feel well today. I need support and I need help. It's understandable during these times of the pandemic. Number 8 is allow for flexibility. Right? Crisis, maintindihan natin. Family setup, household chores. Ang dami ko nang binigay kanina on how to work with the members of your household. But my style as a leader is I also ensure that lunch breaks are on time whenever possible because they have to join their families. The kids are waiting if they have kids. And I give them 10 to 15 minutes additional. That's why I may ask them whenever possible to join me in the next call after lunch if I need them 1:15 or 1:30. Maghuhugas pa po ng pinggan yan. Okay? I give a grace period for those who are joining calls because as compared to when you are in the office, you log out, you log in. Dito hindi. Pag log out mo sa call, biglang makita ka lang ng anak mo na walang call, lapit na yan. No? Okay? Or makita ka ng parent mo, uutusan ka na yan. So just give consideration to these people, which is why leaders, you need to also ask what the realities of your teammates are. People are struggling with something during this crisis, and we need to get to know what these struggles are. Tip number 9, practice ABBA. Applicable for leaders mainly, but also applicable to our teammates. What is ABBA? I learned this in the pharma industry. Pharma, yung gamot na nasa shelf, that's a shelf, should be, number 1, available, should be visible, and should be accessible. I just changed accessible to approachable. Okay? During these times when it's really tough, leaders should be, number 1, dapat kita ng tao online. Online si TL, online si boss. Kasi magdadalawang isip yung mag-report ng problem or reach out to you. No? Yung iba talaga nahihiya. No? Be online, be reachable, and if they see you really prompt in your reply, concise, even if you can't attend to it, just say something like, hi, I got this. I just don't have time right now. I'll get back to you. Ang importante, nagre-reply ang leader. Visible din. Pag mga video calls, just saying hi at the start. And then before you take out your video, so that it doesn't contribute to eating the bandwidth. Approachable. Please watch out. Nakakadagdag ng stress. Nakakadagdag din ng pressure. Kung minsan, emotional, we are not able to take care of what we say. So reminders to everyone, positive words, less blaming, positive voice, no, and positive body language to just make people feel mabigat na nga yung trabaho. Ang nagpagaan ng trabaho ay yung mga kasama natin sa team. Let me end with number 10, be high touch while you are high tech. Okay? Mga pampagaan ng feelings, keep everybody in mind, inclusion, because we are not seeing people, we don't know if everybody's already in the call. You may need to have a roll call and make sure that people got the invite and they will not feel left out. Number 2, create the virtual pantry. The pantry as a symbol, as a venue for what? Socialization. Start with your meetings with icebreakers, or encourage people to log in 5 minutes before so you don't eat up time during the meetings and they can make their social chats. I've always promoted checking in with others, makamusta ako. So kahit na hindi ka leader, yung mga associates natin, kumustahin nyo din po yung mga leaders nyo. These messages will go a long way in making people that, making leaders even feel, even your people, even my teammates are worried about my welfare. Number 4, less emailing as much as possible, more video calling. Why? Because emails take time to write. It also takes time to digest. We just use emails for documentation. We just use emails if we want to attach and share some things, but things can immediately get resolved. Don't second guess. Pick up the phone. Kung ayaw mo ng video, call somebody, typical audio ko. One way to humanize the interaction in work from home, pwede sa mga icebreaker nyo to, ask people to give you a virtual tour of their workspace. Maybe introduce you to their daughters and the spouses and family members so that you're able to really put some personal touch, no? Nakikilala mo pa. That's impossible to do when we are all on site, but now we have a chance to be able to connect with our teammates' families. Mental health is really a concern nowadays with a lot of people having a lot of concerns, anxieties, at hindi kaya ng TL or manager lahat. So, mag-assign ng mga buddies or peer coaches who will also have to do the kumusta. What help do you need? And for all you know, two brains are really better than one. You can work on something, you know, and what you are having a problem with can already be solved by some other person. Regardless of whether you're leader or associate, model optimism, model fun and gratitude. Thank people, be thankful of what we have, no? And regardless of what we have or we don't have, may latency issues, may internet issues, always be optimistic. Let's not get frustrated by things that are beyond our control and just focus on what we have.